Hello there and welcome, dear Aries souls who are listening right now. Have you ever felt it, that quiet, unsettling feeling, as if something inside your own family just isn't right? A fleeting smile that somehow chills you to the bone, a casual glance that plants an unshakable doubt deep in your heart, someone who always acts close, warm, and caring. Yet deep down, you know, they're not truly wishing you well. Today, we're stepping into a different kind of story, deeper, more raw, and filled with even more light, because the truth is, there are things happening in silence, things your soul has been sensing all along, and if you stay with me until the end, you might never doubt your intuition again. So what really hides behind those harmless smiles? Let us begin, where the shadows conceal themselves, behind the mask of family. Aries, sometimes the storms don't roar. They pass quietly, slipping through your life like a cold wind seeping through tightly shut doors. Maybe you've felt it before. Inside your own family, the very place that should feel safest, there's an energy, something heavy, invisible, wearing you down without a name. A glance that seems harmless. A casual word tossed out like it means nothing. A fleeting smile that lingers longer than it should. And yet, beneath that calm surface, a darker current moves slowly, silently, like an underground river. We talk about family as a sanctuary of love. But sometimes right there inside those walls, there is someone who feels like a shadow. They don't shout. They don't break the silence. They walk softly, whispering, planting tiny seeds of doubt with subtle looks and unspoken meanings. A different kind of witch. No spells, no curses, just the quiet patience of darkness. Have you ever felt exhausted for no reason you could name? Tired not from what was said, but from pretending not to see, pretending not to hear? What hurts you most isn't the harsh words. It's those moments when you know the truth, and yet you smile anyway just to keep the peace. That smile, Aries, sometimes it becomes a wall you build to protect everyone else. But deep inside, your soul feels like it's being cut one thin slice at a time, and often it's someone close. A sister, an aunt, even someone who once held you tightly in their arms. Somewhere along their own brokenness, they lost faith in themselves, and the darkness inside them tries to control the light inside you. They won't attack you directly. They won't throw cruel words. They'll stand there quietly, shifting stories, turning emotions, weaving shadows so subtly, until one day you ask yourself, is something wrong with me? Aries, nothing is wrong with you. You are not too sensitive. You are not too weak. It is because your inner light burns so brightly that those who haven't yet learned to love themselves feel blinded when they stand beside you, so they try to dim you, not with loud conflicts, but with soft touches, with casual phrases that keep you awake at night, questioning yourself. Have you ever lain awake, staring into the dark, feeling a weight in your chest with no name? Have you ever placed your hand over your heart, sensing it whispering something your mind can't explain? That is your intuition speaking. A gift you were born with, Aries, and that gift is exactly why they try to control you. But look deeper beyond the mask. You'll see these people don't truly hate you. They've simply never learned how to love themselves. The darkness within them is not your enemy. It is fear. It is envy. It is their own unhealed wounds. And when you understand this, you begin to see. Healing doesn't mean excusing their actions. It means seeing through them. So you no longer get pulled into their spiral. What you've been sensing all along was never random. Every time you felt the air grow heavy as you walked into a room, every time you doubted yourself for no reason, every time your gut screamed but your mind silenced it for peace, those were messages from your body, from your heart, from your soul. Your intuition has never been wrong. You've just been trained to ignore it, to keep appearances, to maintain a fragile calm that's been cracked for far too long. And one day, you realize this. You weren't born to shrink yourself, just to make others more comfortable with their darkness. You were born to shine, to carry an energy so raw, so pure, it was never meant to be hidden. Yes, your light will threaten some people, but real light, Aries, never apologizes for being bright. There comes a moment when you must face what has quietly weighed you down for years, not to fight, not to argue, but simply to name what has never been named. That is the first step toward breaking free of the old emotional cycles, toward reclaiming the authority over your heart and your soul. Aries, you don't need to be a warrior swinging a sword. Sometimes the greatest strength lies in stillness. When you stand steady in your light, the shadows will retreat on their own. That is true power, not defeating anyone else, but never letting anyone make you doubt yourself again. Have you ever felt a negative energy around you that you couldn't name? Share your story in the comments, because when your voice rises, you'll realize you were never alone. And as you listen more closely to the whispers within, you'll begin to uncover something else, a secret few ever see, a sacred gift that makes you different, a gift that makes those who seek to control you uneasy, because that gift, Aries, is the one thing they will never, ever control. Have you ever wondered why you always seem to feel more than what others can see? Conversations that sound ordinary on the surface, but something inside you aches as if words left unspoken are hanging in the air. A crowded room filled with laughter, music, and noise. Yet you sense an undercurrent, a quiet, dense wave of energy moving beneath the surface, like a hidden current under still waters. That's not weakness. It isn't fragility. It's a sacred gift you were born with, a healing intuition. It's like carrying an invisible compass, guiding you even when there's no map in sight. You sense the truth not through words, but through pauses, fleeting blinks, and the quiet breaths people hold when they want to hide something. There are things others try to bury, but your heart hears them long before the mind can explain. This gift isn't loud. It won't make you stand above the crowd, but it makes you a quiet light, shining brightest in the darkest corners. And maybe because of that, some people around you feel unsettled. Your light exposes shadows they're not ready to face. And in that discomfort, some choose to control, manipulate, or create illusions to make you doubt yourself. But don't blame them, and don't blame yourself. They simply don't understand yet that someone else's light doesn't make them smaller. It only reflects the unhealed places within their own hearts. And you, the one carrying this gift, you never have to apologize for existing. Pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Listen closely to the whispers inside. From childhood, you've always known something others didn't. As a child, you could feel who loved you genuinely and who was only pretending. As you grew, you sensed the invisible distance between people sitting right next to each other. Sleepless nights from a gut feeling you couldn't explain. Moments when you felt heavy standing next to someone, even if you'd never exchanged a single harsh word. These were never coincidences. They were messages. The power of your intuition doesn't lie in exposing others. Its true strength is showing you your own path. Even when everything around you is covered in fog, it gives you choice, who to love, who to trust, where to stay, and when to walk away, not to defend yourself, but to live aligned with your own energy. And yet, sometimes this gift makes you feel alone. Others don't understand why you feel too much. They call you sensitive, fragile, even paranoid. You start questioning yourself, doubting the light you carry. But remember this, real light has never needed an explanation. It doesn't exist to prove itself. It exists to illuminate. When exhaustion weighs on you, when misunderstandings have chipped away at your heart, remember this, you don't have to dim your light just to make someone else feel comfortable in their shadows. Your light wasn't born to soothe others. It was born to remind you that you deserve truth, freedom, and unconditional love, starting with yourself. Yes, this gift may have brought you pain. You feel more than you sometimes wish you could, but one day, you'll understand it was never a burden. It's your wings. Because of it, you've avoided paths not meant for you. Because of it, you know who loves you deeply and who only wears a mask. Because of it, you carry a calm strength, holding peace in the middle of chaos. Not because you're stronger than others, but because you've learned to go deeper within yourself. And here's the truth. Those who try to manipulate, control, or diminish you have never understood this power. They think they can weave a web of shadows, but they forget one thing: real light cannot be contained. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to stand, rooted in your truth. And when you do, everything false around you will fall away on its own. The moment you begin trusting your intuition, that quiet voice within, a new door opens. No more sleepless nights haunted by manipulation. No more questioning whether you're the problem. You'll see clearly, you were never born to please anyone. You were born to live free, to live fully, to live in light. Have you ever trusted your intuition and uncovered a hidden truth no one else could see? If you have, share your story in the comments, because your experience might be the guiding light for someone still wandering through the same darkness you once faced. And when you finally learn to trust this sacred gift, something deeper begins to unfold, because the purer the light, the more the shadows stir, And when that happens, there are forces that will try to test you, but remember this, you will never face it alone, because when the shadows draw close, the universe always steps in. There are moments in life when you can't help but wonder, why do the ones who cause the deepest wounds walk away so lightly, while you're left carrying the cracks in your heart? But over time, you begin to see a quiet, deeper truth. Karma never needs to be loud. What's planted always blooms, whether you witness it or not, and what's truly meant for you will always find its way back. In Buddhist philosophy, this is the law of cause and effect, a silent, unshakable force. It doesn't threaten, it doesn't shout, it simply balances everything. You don't have to fight for justice, you don't have to confront anyone, and you never have to seek revenge. The universe is far more patient than any of us. It sees what human eyes cannot. It hears the quiet suffering your heart has endured, and one day everything returns to where it belongs. Those who once manipulated you, who planted seeds of doubt, who pulled shadows over your light, they believe they can hide behind masks forever. They weave clever stories, half-truths designed to control the narrative. But masks don't last. When a soul chooses darkness, there always comes a moment when they are forced to face themselves. And you don't need to expose them. You don't need to raise your voice, because truth has its own way of stepping into the light. Sometimes the price they pay doesn't come from outside, but from within: a sleepless night, a sudden restlessness that won't fade, an emptiness that no achievement, no possession can ever fill. That is the voice of conscience. And once that voice awakens, there's no silencing it. You'll begin to see strange things unfold. One day those people lose the trust of the very ones they once controlled. Their stories start to crack. The walls they built collapse piece by piece, and when the final mask falls, no one needs to point a finger, because by then, the truth will already be undeniable. Remember this, light never needs to fight the darkness. It only needs to shine. When you choose to keep your heart pure, when you choose compassion over hatred, you're sending a powerful message to the universe. I trust your quiet justice. And somehow, in ways you can't explain, the universe always responds. You may not see it, but around you there's always an invisible circle of protection. Your ancestors, your spirit guides, and higher energies that watch over you. Sometimes that protection comes as a sudden, unshakable instinct, pulling you out of a conversation, right before it turns into an argument. Sometimes it's a strange coincidence, a phone call, a delay, a door closing unexpectedly, only to protect you from a path that was never meant for you. There are losses that don't feel like blessings at first, but later you'll understand they were divine redirections. Relationships that once drained you end. Projects you poured your soul into suddenly stall. And years later, you'll look back and realize the universe never abandoned you. It was pulling you away from what was never yours to carry. This protection is subtler than any warning, because when you finally live in alignment with your true energy, when you stop trying to please everyone and start choosing yourself, you feel it, you sense it, you know it's there. And even in chaos, a quiet peace begins to surround you. So if you've ever asked yourself, how am I still standing after everything? The answer is this: you're not standing on your strength alone. You've been carried by something greater than you. This has been your gift since birth. A reminder that you are loved, chosen, and protected even in the moments you felt most lost. Every tear you've shed has been seen. Every silent prayer has been heard. And every wound you carry is already being healed in ways you can't yet imagine. So trust the rhythm of life. Don't rush into revenge. Don't let resentment fill your heart. Forgiveness doesn't mean acceptance. It means returning what's not yours back to the universe. It means making your heart light enough to walk free again. Have you ever witnessed justice arrive in silence? Maybe it was the day someone finally faced the weight of what they once did to you, or the moment they lost what they thought they'd never lose. If you have, share your story in the comments, because your experience might be the guiding light for someone walking through the same darkness right now. And when you finally trust the mysterious balance of the universe, something else begins to stir, gentle, subtle, but powerful. It isn't a threat from the outside, but a calling from deep within, because soon, someone from your past, someone who once broke your heart, may try to return. And the question will be, this time, who will you choose? Sometimes, the hardest challenges don't come from what's ahead, but from what circles back out of the past. They don't arrive with noise, no warning, no storm. They slip quietly into your life like an old wind carrying a familiar scent. And when it happens, you think you're strong enough to stand your ground. But deep inside, there are still places in your heart you've never touched. Someone who once broke you might try to come back. They may bring the apologies you waited years to hear, the promises that they've changed, the beautiful memories hidden in every word they send. Could be just a short message, but it's enough to make your heart tremble. An old song appears in your playlist. A sudden dream pulls you back to yesterday. Little signals one by one, not to remind you of the pain, but to test your healing. Take a deep breath. You've come too far to step back into the same loops that once left you lost and broken. This moment isn't a second chance. It's a mirror, showing you everything you've learned on your journey back to yourself. Once you believed love meant endurance, you tried to understand, you carried their storms, you gave pieces of yourself just to keep someone close. You thought that was love, but time has taught you a deeper truth. Real love never asks you to dim your inner light just to survive. When someone from the past returns, it's not to finish an unfinished story, but to see if you've learned to choose yourself. Yes, they may have changed, but what matters more is that you have. You are no longer the version of you who would abandon yourself just to be loved. Now you've learned to listen to your own heart, to honor your limits, to place your dignity above someone else's promises. Forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, but forgiving them doesn't mean opening the door again. Forgiveness sets your heart free. It cuts the invisible threads that once tied you to a chapter already closed. You forgive, but you do not repeat. And if you choose to move on, remember this. Saying no is also an act of love for yourself. No doesn't mean your heart has run out of love. It simply means you've learned that love cannot exist where your light must be dimmed. When you choose not to go back, you're not rejecting a person. You're rejecting the old version of you who once forgot their own worth. There will still be nights when you miss them. Moments when memories rush in, catching you off guard. Strength, real strength, isn't about forgetting. It's about looking back, smiling softly, and choosing to walk forward anyway. That's when you know you've outgrown the pain. You've passed the test the universe sent your way, because here's the truth. Every door that closes opens a new space inside you. And when you find the courage to close the old chapters, life will send you gifts you never imagined. A love that walks beside you, not one that comes to fix you. An opportunity arriving at the perfect moment. The right place, the right person, and above all, freedom. The freedom your heart has been searching for all along. Tell me, have you ever felt the past knocking at your door? Did you open your heart again, or did you choose to let go? Share your story, because your voice might be the light for someone still standing at that crossroads between the old and the new. And when you're brave enough to release the hand you once held, when you finally walk away from what no longer belongs to you, you'll witness something miraculous, because the moment you close one door, another begins to open. A new gift awaits you ahead, a calling from deep within your soul where your true purpose is finally ready to unfold. There are quiet nights when the world falls completely still and you hear a soft whisper deep within. It doesn't come from reason. It's not something anyone ever taught you. It rises from the deepest part of your soul, the place where you are connected to the Creator, to higher energies, to where you have always belonged. Since the moment you were born, you've carried a gift. It might be the power to heal, simply through your gentle presence. It might be a creative spirit, breathing life into what others can't even see. It might be the gift of listening, a heart that understands pain without needing words. No matter what form your gift takes, it is sacred as the breath God gave you. And here's the thing, this gift was never meant to be kept. You weren't given it to boast. You weren't given it to seek approval. It's your calling, your mission, something you cannot not do, even if you've tried to ignore it, even when you chased after what felt safe. How many times have you felt lost, not knowing why the familiar paths suddenly left you drained and empty? How many times have you wondered why the steady job, the seemingly perfect relationship, still left a quiet hollow inside you? It's because your soul has always known. You were born to do more than this. Your purpose isn't defined by titles, diplomas, or applause. It lives in those moments when your heart feels like it's glowing, when you lose track of time, doing something that makes you feel alive. It lives in the eyes of someone you've helped, in their tears when they finally feel understood, in the moments you offer love without expecting anything back. And when you finally live aligned with that gift, everything begins to change. Doors that once stayed shut swing open. Opportunities you thought were out of reach suddenly appear in the most unexpected places. Money, work, relationships, they start to flow to you, not because you chase them, but because your energy finally matches what you truly deserve. There's a mystery here when you give away the very gift you were born to give. The universe and God give back to you in ways you once thought impossible. Silent prayers, buried dreams, forgotten wishes, one by one, they find their way back to you, right on time in ways you never expected. But to step fully into this path, you need something deeper than skill. You need faith. Faith that your gift has value. Faith that even your wounds were never random, because those wounds softened your heart. They gave you depth. They made you someone who can see into another's pain, even when they cannot speak it. Every tear, every heartbreak has been shaping you into a brighter, stronger version of yourself. Don't compare your gift to anyone else's. You weren't born to walk their path. You were born to leave your own mark, to plant seeds that only you can plant. And remember this: sometimes your gift won't bring you applause. It won't put you under the spotlight. Sometimes your gift is the quiet miracle that makes someone feel seen, loved, understood, and that is everything. If you've ever doubted yourself, am I enough? Is what I bring enough? Pause, look around you, think about the times you made someone smile when their heart was heavy. Think about the stories you listened to when no one else would. Think about the kindness you've given in silence with no witness at all. Those small moments are where your purpose shines. The gift you carry is one of a kind, and this world needs it. Don't hide it. Don't wait. Don't dim yourself just because you're afraid they won't understand. When you live in alignment with it, life begins to flow again, like a river finally finding its course. Everything starts to feel natural, gentle, and whole. Tell me, what do you feel is your gift? Share it, because your story might be the spark someone else needs to find their own light. And then, when you finally stand fully in the place meant for you, something else arrives, quietly, softly, as if it had been waiting all along. Something you thought you had missed. Love, but this time, it won't come to test you. It will come to walk with you. There are days when the sun is melting into the horizon, its last light falling softly through the leaves, and you suddenly realize your heart has been quiet for a very long time. No more racing pulses, no more restless nights chasing after wild emotions, no more dreaming of a love so intense it burns you to ashes. In that moment, you understand something deep. What your soul needs is not a storm, but a stream. Not someone to fill the empty spaces, but someone calm enough to walk beside you. Real love enters your life in silence, like the first light of dawn slipping through the window. No knocking, no rush, no noise. It doesn't come to change you. It doesn't demand you to be perfect. It simply sees every crack, every wound, every hidden corner of your soul, and instead of fixing them, it takes your hand and whispers softly, "Everything about you is okay." This is not the kind of love built on endless trials and tears. It's not a game for unhealed hearts. No more decoding every word. No more silent wars to prove something. This love does not control. It does not manipulate. It never asks you to trade your freedom, your dignity, or the light within you. And do you know what makes it even more special? They didn't come because you're always strong. They came because they saw the beauty. In the moments you were soft, unguarded, real. They don't love the mask you wear to be accepted. They love you, your layers, your broken pieces, even the quiet parts of you you've never dared to name. Maybe you've walked through relationships that drained you. You've mistaken passion for love, familiarity for happiness. You've sacrificed parts of yourself to be loved, given up your pride just to hold on to hands already letting go. But somewhere along this journey, you've learned something sacred. True love doesn't come to complete you. It comes to walk alongside the light you already carry. This love will give you a peace you've never known before. Peace in knowing you don't have to prove your worth. Peace in no longer pretending to be strong every day. Peace in simply breathing and knowing, even in silence, you are seen, you are loved. They won't arrive with grand promises, but with a presence that makes you believe again. With them, you don't have to read between the lines. You don't fear sudden anger. You don't run from hard conversations, because deep down, you know, respect and honesty are the ground you both stand on. And slowly, this love teaches you something you may have forgotten, that you are worthy, not because you're always right, always strong, or always enough, but simply because you are you. The old wounds stop being walls. They become gentle reminders of how far you've come and how you've learned to love yourself first. And that, my friend, opens the door for real love to finally find you. One morning you'll wake up and realize Your life no longer feels so empty, not because someone came to fill it, but because you've learned to live fully with yourself. And when love arrives, it doesn't complete you, it expands your light. If you've ever dreamed of a love like this, share your story, because the words you carry may be the very key to someone else's hope. And when peace finally finds its way back to your heart, this journey leaves you with one last reminder, one lesson you must hold close before stepping into the next chapter of your life. There comes a moment in life when every sound outside fades away, and you can only hear the quiet call of your own heart, a call that feels deep, steady, like the pulse of the earth itself, inviting you to come home, home to the light that has never gone out, home to the purest, brightest version of who you truly are. You've walked through endless days where love was clouded by jealousy, where fears whispered in silence and pulled the strings from the shadows. You've carried wounds, losses, and trials, the kind that nearly broke you. You've loved, you've sacrificed, and you've learned the art of letting go. And now, standing at the peak of this journey, you finally see it. Everything, every moment, every heartbreak was guiding you back to one place, back to you. Living true to yourself sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's the hardest lesson of all. Life taught you how to shrink, how to please others, how to dim your own light just to blend in with the crowd. But when you do that, the heart grows hollow, like a lantern covered and hidden. Its flame still burns fiercely inside, but no longer lights the way. This is the moment of awakening, the moment you look inward and discover the sacred fire planted in you by the Creator, a flame no one can ever extinguish. It's the moment you realize you don't need permission to shine. You don't need anyone's approval, and you don't have to prove your worth through someone else's eyes. This light is yours, and the world needs it. You learn not to pour your energy into places that never valued it, into connections where you gave everything and received only silence in return. You understand kindness doesn't need proof, but it should never be wasted. Your light does not exist to warm those who choose to live in darkness. You give love, but you also learn to keep the purest part of it for yourself. And more importantly, you learn the power of saying no. No to the things that weigh your heart down. No to relationships that only take and never give. No to the same cycles of pain you once believed you had to endure. Because each time you say no, you're saying yes to yourself. And that, Aries, is courage. That is self-love. On this path of awakening, you'll come to realize something profound. You were never truly alone. Every silent prayer you whispered, every tear that fell into the dark was always heard. There's an unseen hand protecting you, guiding you. Call it God, call it the universe, call it something greater than yourself. But know this, you are loved. You are chosen, you are carried. Trust that whatever leaves is clearing the path for something better. Trust that every loss has meaning. It's shaping you into the brightest version of yourself. And trust that the light within you is strong enough to guide not only your own way, but also the way for those still trapped in their own shadows. You don't need to become anyone else. You only need the courage to return to yourself. Because the moment you truly accept who you are, everything you once longed for will find its way to you. Not because you're chasing it, but because your energy finally matches its frequency. If there's one thing you carry forward from this journey, let it be this: love yourself deeply, because when you love yourself enough, you will never again lose your way. Thank you for being here, for listening, for walking this path, and for loving yourself a little more with every story we share. May you, Aries, find peace in every breath you take, and may you always remember, the light within your heart will lead the way, not just for you, but for every soul still searching for hope.